This is In the Dirt with ASOTU.
We're here with Ed Roberts, Bozard, Ford, Lincoln. Where is that?
It's in St. Augustine, Florida.
Beautiful.
So you had to take
Gorgeous.
a real long drive to Palm
About
Beach.
a 4-hour drive down the coast.
Yeah, that's a real
Rough
burden.
stuff,
Thanks for bearing that burden for the automotive industry. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us today. Actually, let's start out since you're new to our audience. Can you tell us a little bit about your store, a little bit about the history in a minute or two, and kind of the volume you're doing and what your position is in the company? We'll go with that too.
So, like I said, I'm located in St. Augustine, Florida. We're a top 24 dealer in the country, top 10 Lincoln dealer in the country, #1 volume service center for Ford in the country. We have a restaurant and a daycare on property.
One of those, nice.
We're a very culture-driven store. Well, I guess every store is culture-driven.
Yeah. Oh,
That's the truth. Dropping gems already.
in.
It just depends on what it is, I guess.
Yeah, it
That's
just depends on
truth.
what the culture is.
truth.
All right. I see that. I'm stealing
Empowering
that.
culture.
That's good. That's awesome.
And what's your role in the company?
COO, Chief
All right.
Operating Officer.
And how long have you been sitting in that seat?
I've been there for 10 years. I've been in this role for about a year and a half.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. And where were you before?
Fixed Operations Director.
All right.
Really?
Coming
Okay.
up through.
I love that.
Man of the people.
From the backside of the business as well.
Yeah, that's a big deal. No, okay, so let's go on that for just a second, but then I got this might be the longest In the Dirt podcast. You better watch out, because I got questions.
Well, you got questions. We'll go up to 10 minutes max, and then
There you
we'll
go.
get you to come back on an Auto Collabs episode to really dive in.
There you go. Okay, so coming up through that fixed ops and now COO and dealing with operations across the dealership, where are you seeing the efficiencies gained in fixed ops and the things that you've done there that you're able to start to like parse out and implement throughout the rest of the organization at this point?
It's collaborative. It's working together. It's working together as a team. It's empowering for these guys to lean on each other. And we created a culture in fixed ops that really said, hey, if we could take this throughout the store, what can we do? And
Talk about that culture. You created a culture in fixed ops. What was the glue there?
Well, a lot of stores have a tough time hiring people, and the ones that's out there acquiring stores, they're what slows them down from acquiring more is people. And we grow our people. We grow our people from entry-level position, whether it's a technician, whether it's a salesperson, whatever it may be. It's rare that we hire someone that comes in with the skill to roll with. Maybe if they move into town or whatever else and they fit our culture, we'll hire them, but most of the time we're hiring people for our entry-level position and growing them.
Okay, and so you said that you cultivated that in fixed ops, and then you said spread throughout the store. Well, usually it doesn't go that direction. Usually it doesn't start in fixed ops and spread.
Well, that's correct. And I'll paint that picture a little bit as well, because I've been there 10 years. 10 years ago when I started there, we had 41 employees, and we have 317 now.
Wow.
But over 500 with the other two businesses there collecting a paycheck with the restaurant and the daycare.
Wow, that's incredible. So you really have built the culture. It's not like you've had to shift the culture or change the culture. Like as you add people, the culture expands and contracts and grows with, and leadership is able to cultivate and ask of those people to follow a lead and to move into a way of being and a way of doing business and a way of interacting, right?
Absolutely.
So the other like side of questions that I have, we've met in a couple of our sessions. You have a couple of people here with you. One is a marketing director that we've met, and then another one is a senior client advisor, which is your version of salesperson. So and what we've been has a couple of things that have blown my mind, and I'd love to just get your insight on why. Is one that you have the role of a salesperson at a marketing conference, right? A primarily marketing conference. And then also that they're both younger and they're in like not your typical managerial type roles that would come to a conference to learn like this. And they seem, you've kind of freed them up to do some cool things. We saw their social media and what's happening in media and marketing. What does that mean for an organization like yours to bring those people into an environment like this?
Well, we talked about empowering earlier, and if you're not empowering, then if you talk about it and you don't do it, then you're just making noise. And I want them to come here, and I brought a crew of people with me, but those two specifically, I want them to come here and take something back and try it. I bring a manager here and show them the same thing, they're going to try to figure out what can go wrong before we try it. And I don't want to do that. Let's figure out what goes wrong as we do it, but let's shift gears. Let's do something different, and let's step out there and do something that we've never done before and figure out how we make it better.
It's like what Darren was saying, anything worth doing is worth doing badly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you got to do it bad. You got to start, whether it's badly or whatever. And so
usually
the
it is, right?
Yes.
Usually you fail. Whoever fails first wins.
But I can assure you, as you was talking about with my senior client advisor, there's a lot of things that we do back at the dealer that she questions, why do we do it that way? Well, let's find a different way to do it. Let's not justify why we do it that way. Let's find a different way to do it.
Where did she come in? Like, what path did she come to her position currently?
She is actually a third-generation employee there. Her grandfather works there, her mother works there, and now she works there.
And she's still asking questions.
And she came in as a brand ambassador, so that is a product knowledge specialist, and worked her way into a senior client advisor. And this is her third full month as being a senior client advisor. Had a hat trick 7 days in as a senior client at 21 years old. I mean, you don't see that in most stores.
You don't, and that just proves the thesis that we talk about so often, that you don't need to really know about cars to serve people by selling them a car.
People do business with people. We talk about that, but we don't embrace that. And when you embrace that, it goes rampant.
So you sit in the COO seat. You've come from the fixed ops side of the business. You obviously have a lot of engagement with the sales side of the business. Fixed ops, sales, there oftentimes is a lot of friction between those two. In the restaurant industry, same thing, front of the house, back of the house. What do you do intentionally to maintain like a cohesion between the two sides of the business?
Well, we don't have silos, and yes, there is silos at most stores, and there was silos there 10 years ago. But ultimately, when you bring people in at an entry level and they grow into these other roles, they're never exposed to silos. And when a detailer can come in and learn how to sell cars and become a salesperson, that's the same business. The detailer is the support side to the selling a car, and you just don't build it in. If you go out and you hire somebody that brings in all the talent, there's a reason why they're looking. There's a reason why they're looking to jump ship or whatever else. And we'd rather start with a clean sheet of paper because we might find something new along the way.
So good.
That's great. Well, Ed, I
have one more question.
Okay,
if you don't,
okay.
Do you have another question?
We're going to be here for
like
20 minutes if I start asking
no,
questions.
I'll ask the last question.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Well, so one of the things that I think is you were telling me is you guys have gone to on the sales side has gone to this single point of contact environment, which is just one person, from front to back and beginning and end of sale. And I think that's what a lot of times empowers these younger people to be able to be very effective in their roles, because it's very native to the way that they have learned to buy and the way that they now learn to sell. What struggles have you seen along the way, or wins struggles or wins has the store seen along the way in implementing something like that?
Well, it depends on who you're doing it with, and that's we talk about the one that we was talking about earlier. It is easier to do it with her because she comes in as a salesperson and she knows that the process continues to start talking product and integrate that in along with the conversation along the way. When you take a traditional salesperson and do that, their mind is done. Once they get the close on, I'll take the vehicle and I'll buy it, I'm good, they're done. And to make them make that shift is a lot tougher. So the biggest thing is the commitment to taking the back step and a drop in PVR on the backside. But that's a training opportunity, not to say that I accept that, but to find a way to get better.
Being willing to take the back step.
Yeah.
That's willing to do it.
I mean, that is the...
Failing fast, starting, take the back step. Those things produce exponential results on the other side of it.
Creates customers for life, though.
Yeah.
There you go.
And employees for life.
Absolutely.
They kind of work together, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, last question. The environment's changing rapidly, whether we're talking about inventory, the need to market again, right, and start to lean in again. What is your impetus for 2023 as you head as the COO of a very successful group? What are you focusing on in 2023?
It's training our people. Let's look at it from a standpoint of somebody that's stepped in this business in a sales role in the last 2 years. I'm bringing them in at entry level, so they haven't had sales experience elsewhere. They've come into a world where if you have it, I'll take it. and they haven't had to sell a vehicle. And now we're going to shift back into where they got to be salespeople again, and we have to prepare our people to do that. And one of the things that we can do by doing that is measuring what they do with a used car, because the new car is a commodity. That's what everybody's chasing. The used car, you still have to have some sales tactics there.
Yeah.
So that's our opportunity, is to continue to train and develop our people throughout next year, and we can continue to grow.
Well, look, this is the beginning of a great relationship. We got to come visit.
We got it.
We got daycare, restaurant.
Daycare. I'll bring my kids and we'll eat.
There you go. Sounds good. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us today. We look forward to the next time already.
Absolutely. Having fun.
Thanks for watching this episode of In the Dirt with ASOTU. If you're new to our channel, make sure and mash that like and subscribe button. Also, check out some of these links for our other great podcasts and content.